I, 18 male, was adopted by a family when I was 5. I don't know my biological parents. The family already had 3 children. 3 girls. Apparently after the first girl they tried for a boy, but it always ended up being a girl, so after 3 girls they adopted me to finally have a son. In the first few years of my life they treated us all well. My sisters, however, were never able to accept me. They saw me as an outsider who doesn't belong in the family. Actually, it was the oldest one, called Alicia, who poisoned the other 2, called Maria and Juliet, against me by telling them that our parents would treat me better because I was a boy, which wasn't true. In fact, all 3 of them protested against me getting a room in the same floor as them. And my parents gave in. There was a spare room in the basement where I had to sleep now. This, however, just led to them making fun of me, calling me names like cellar rat and many more things. I just shrugged it off, assuming that's how siblings treated each other. But I realized that having my sleeping room in the basement somehow also affected the way my parents treated me. Sleeping down there felt like I was out of sight for them. They lost interest in me and I became less significant and important. While on the other hand they started to focus more on my sisters. When I was 13 they completely lost interest in me. It was like I was a homeless person living in the basement. They missed all the appointments I had. They didn't care about my grades. They never even called me to eat. Sometimes I would come upstairs and see how they already took away the plates. If I was lucky there were leftovers that I could eat. Do you think I got presents for my birthday? No, because they didn't even know my birthday in the first place. And last Christmas they said they forgot to buy presents for me, saying they'll go shopping with me the next few weeks to get me something, which, as you might expect, never happened. I don't feel despised towards my sisters. I'm glad they have a home where they are cared for and that they can feel loved. I just don't understand why they would adopt me if they just throw me away like a piece of paper. I think they just wanted to have this feeling to have a son for some time, but then realized they could never love me like one of their own. And putting me into the basement was the last straw. That is when they completely banished me from their minds. And I just can't do this anymore. I decided to pack my things and leave. I will do it tonight. I stay at a friend's house for a while and try to look for a job that hopefully gets me enough money so that I can rent an apartment. And after that I will never look back. I decided to leave a letter behind in my room. I wouldn't be surprised if they never even find it. Let alone notice that I'm gone. I use a throwaway for this, but I actually don't know why. I thought I don't want them to see this, but now that I think about it I could send them this post. I don't know why I even write this in here in the first place. I feel so desperate. Update 1. Let's start by what happened yesterday. First of all, I never expected my post to blow up like this. This is absolutely insane. I tried to read all of your comments and answer all direct messages, but it's just too many. So I'm sorry if I ignored you. Many of you had great advice, such as taking all my documents with me and go to the police, which I wanted to do today. Let's go through everything that happened chronologically. After reading through many comments, I decided to take my documents with me. So at the evening before my adoptive parents went to bed, I snuck into their bedroom and took all documents that I could find and waited for nightfall. I packed my things and left when all of them were asleep. Everything went as planned. I silently left the house and went to my best friend's home. He had an apartment in a neighbor's city, so I had to walk for a while. I arrived at his apartment between 2 and 3 a.m. He had a spare bedroom that he used for visitors who might want to stay for the night. We agreed that I could live with him as long as I want. He only expected me to find a job quickly, and if I do that he wants me to help him pay the rent for it. I was fine with that. I slept through the night and at the morning I started looking for jobs immediately. But now a few hours something more than interesting happened. While I was on his laptop still looking through the online job advertisements and collecting them, the doorbell rang. He opened the door and I heard a familiar voice. But it wasn't one of my parents. It was one of my sisters. Maria, to be exact. The middle sister. I heard how she asked if I was here. He wanted to lie for me, but I decided to talk to her to find out what she wanted. So I appeared behind him and she winked, "Thank God you're here," and hugged me. I was completely overwhelmed and surprised and didn't know what to say, and then she told me how she found me, and this is where things get more interesting. She told me that this morning a way too familiar sounding story appeared on her TikTok For You page. Apparently my story was shared by a TikTok account who actually had a quite big audience. And she became even more suspicious of the situation when her and the name of her sisters were also mentioned. To be sure about the situation, she went in the basement and into my room, where she found the room mostly empty and of course my letter. I mentioned in the story that I would stay with a friend, so she went out looking for me, telling our parents she was about to visit a friend. She said she drove to 2 different houses before finding the correct address. She apparently visited 2 other friends of me before finding the correct apartment. Apparently she also took the letter with her. She said she hasn't showed them the letter yet and wanted to talk to me first. No one besides her knew where I was or what I did the last night. She apologized to me and offered to talk with her on my side to our parents. She explained that the way I talked about her in the original post made her feel bad. She said she never hated me or anything. She admitted that she also protested against me having a room on their floor, but just because of Alicia's influence on her and because she believed her lies when she was younger. Now that I think about it, unlike Alicia and Juliet, she never called me bad names. She said that Juliet probably also is just insufferable because of how Alicia manipulated her. She said she never realized how bad I was treated. She never gave a second thought about me because Alicia spread rumors that I was just very socially awkward and overall didn't like any of them, and that I would just lock myself inside the basement like the worst introvert and all of that. And as a reason for her claims, she just reminded them that I was adopted, and that is why I would try to make myself the outsider. I said to her that this might explain why she and Juliet might have been like that to me, but not why my parents would have behaved that way. She replied that she also can just make claims here without any proof, but she thinks it's because even between them Alicia is the golden child as the firstborn. Her and Juliet are only the failed attempts of them having a boy. And her being the golden child made it easier for her to manipulate both of them into believing the lies she told them. Then she said that she knows that mom and dad would be pretty easy to manipulate if you know how. And then she gave me 4 options. 1. I could come with her right now and talk with her to my parents. 2. She would let me think about it and leave but not tell my parents. 3. I refused to go back with her entirely, but she would tell them about the letter without telling them where to find me. 4. I refused to go back with her entirely, but she would pretend to not know anything but maybe stay in contact with me. I picked option 2 and she gave me her number. She said that if I decide to give them a chance she would support me, but she would understand if I refused to. And now we are here. I don't know what to do. I would lie if say I wasn't tempted to give them a chance, but on the other hand, if it's true that Alicia is the one behind all of that, I don't know if I want to deal with her again. Update 2. I start this by saying that many of your comments suggested that Maria could have potentially manipulated me and that I shouldn't trust her just now. Which I understand. I decided to stay with my friend. Especially since I applied for so many jobs yesterday and I think I could find one in no time. So there is no reason for me to get back with them as an 18-year-old. But these are just side facts. I would have not given you an update if nothing had happened. Apparently my adoptive parents did realize I was gone recently, so they started looking for me. They are sure that Maria knew where I was, considering she had my letter with her. I'm currently only in contact with Maria, who told me all of this. Apparently my parents tried asking her about my whereabouts and grounded her after she refused to tell them. Yes, they grounded a 21-year-old. Couldn't believe it either. As many of you suggested, I went to the police so they couldn't file a missing report about me. And meanwhile Alicia started to spread rumors again. Apparently she used my disappearance as a proof that she was right with everything, and Juliet believes every single word. She is completely under Alicia's control. Even though I didn't want to see them again, I kind of want to give Maria a chance. I asked my friend if hypothetically Maria could stay with us too. He raised an eyebrow and said only if she wants to sleep on the couch, and then he asked me why I want her here in the first place. The thing is, if she cares about me, then I don't want her to stay with this family. He was annoyed but said yes. I texted her asking if she'd consider to move out and offered her to stay with me and my friend. Before you say it. I know it seems like a way too quick decision. But I truly think that Maria is not like the rest of them. Many of you said that she probably wanted to save face, but someone wouldn't go through all that to find me and then protect me by keeping my whereabouts a secret if they just wanted to save face. Considering that I never mentioned their last names or where they live, so it's not like anyone could have known it was her in real life. I honestly think that my story opened her eyes. She answered by asking if I was for real and that she wasn't sure. I reminded her that she is 21 and probably should think about moving out of our parents' house anyway. And that she was grounded at her age is pretty effed up. They treat their children like 10-year-olds even if they are adults. She said she is not denying that she would like that, because apparently Alicia also started to spread lies about her too because of how she behaves towards me. She overheard how she was talking to her friends about her and that she was called the complicit of a maniac. Still don't know why Alicia hates me so much, but I don't care about it. She said she doesn't think it's a bad idea, but she wants to find a job to have a financial stability first before moving out. That was fair enough. And my friend was much happier this way too. He said he isn't really excited of having another jobless person living with him. But he said that if she has a job he'd gladly help her. One more reason why I think that Maria moving out isn't a bad idea is because if both her and me got a job, we could probably rent an apartment together in no time and would not have any financial problems. So yeah, that's it for now. Let's see what happens in the future. I want to mention one more thing. On my last post some people were talking badly about He TikTok account that shared my story. Please don't talk badly about the account. They didn't know it would end like that, and I don't have a problem with anyone sharing my story. Thank you for reading 3 edit. Some of you pointed out the situation with my friend. Believe me, if I wasn't sure he was okay with it, I would not have suggested it. He was unsure about the offer at first because I hadn't asked her before asking him, so of course he thought it was just another jobless person. But like I said, he is fine with it as long as she has a job. And I'm definitely grateful for what he is doing, and I will repay his kindness. Don't worry about that. Smile, what he does should not be taken for granted, and I know that. You're also right that offering her to live in his apartment is going a bit far. But like I said, he is an amazing person. I wouldn't do it if I knew he wasn't 100% okay with it. Update 3. I want to keep you updated, so here I am again. Today I got a call from Alicia. And apparently nothing is what it seems to be. I still try to process this call. I've been in contact with Maria for a few days and I truly thought she was different, but she was just like the others. When I got the call today, it was an unknown number. I froze when I heard Alicia's voice. She screamed at me saying, "Who the hell do I think I am to talk about her like that?" We had a little argument but somehow managed to calm down. I thought about hanging up, but I wondered what she wanted from me. She told me to grow up. I was never part of their family according to her, and that I should have known it since the beginning and stopped crying about it now when I could have done something about it the entire time. I admit I was angry and not very nice. I told her to go FCK herself and told her I was going to get Maria out of there too because both us wouldn't deserve a life around someone like her. Then she said something I guess she shouldn't have said. She said that I was ridiculous because Maria was a part of all of this theater and if I truly thought mom and dad cared about me. Then she accused me of trying to ruin her family and told me what really happened after I left. They tried to save their face. Maria hasn't told me the full story. Apparently it's true that she was the one who found my story on TikTok by accident and she also found the letter first. In Maria's version of the story she lied to mom and dad and told them she was about to visit her friend when she was looking for me and they didn't know about it. But Alicia said that Maria told mom and dad immediately after finding my letter. This also answers the question how Maria knew about my friend's address. I never told this to anyone except my adoptive mom. They thought that if they fooled me into thinking I had someone on my side, it would be easier for them to get to me because they assumed I probably wouldn't open the door for them. I couldn't believe it and asked why I would believe someone like her, to which she replied, "Who do you think gave me your number?" Then she demanded me to take down my posts and hung up. Honestly, I kinda believe her. But it also proves that they are all the same. They try to manipulate me to get back with them to save their reputation. Many of you guys warned me about this, but even after everything that happened I didn't want to believe someone could be this evil. But that's it. I will cut any contact with them. I am not taking my posts down. Everyone deserves to know what these people are. I cannot believe I tried so desperately to see the good in them. Oh, some of you might want to know that I also apologize to my friend for offering room that wasn't mine to begin with. I understand your critique about this and you are right. I crossed a line there. With that being said, the chapter Adoptive Dickhead Family is hopefully closed now. I try to focus on my life and maybe someday I will find someone who truly loves me. Update 4. Me answering to their attempts of defamation gets voted. I am not lying with anything. I wish all of them the best. But I don't want to have anything to do with this family. A few people pointed out that Juliet and Alicia made posts of their own, but apparently these posts got deleted, cause I cannot find them. I also can imagine they were just fake profiles and that they are not the real ones. You can post them under this post if they can be found somewhere. But no matter what they wrote, I'm sure that if they are real they try to save their reputation by telling you lies. I would like to appeal to you to not believe anything they say. The backlash on my last post and the people calling me liar, however, is frustrating, and right now I need some peace and focus on my life and things that feel good to me. I hope you can understand that. I'm going to keep my account here for 2 days and then delete it. This way I can leave this behind and no one of the negative comments can accuse me of hiding anything or doing it for clout or Reddit karma. And everyone should be able to read my story before it gets deleted. To those who support me, I want to thank you so much. I felt safe enough to share my story and even update you. When I made the first post I never thought it would reach so many people. So thank you all so much. 3 edit. Okay, I just found Juliet's post on the same TikTok page that shared my story, and this post is completely fake. My name is not Ben as suggested in this post. It's more like a fan fiction of my story where someone who has nothing to do with our family tried to add their perspective. And the situations that were described there never happened. It's not even that they happened and it's just a different perspective. No. It's completely made up. Now on to second story. Parents turned against me and got a restraining order against my husband after he defended himself when my mother tried to attack him over buying a shed. I, 33F, have been married to my husband, 32 male, for a few months, but we've been ether for 6 years. My parents had asked us to move into their home 2 years back to help them out since my dad is medically disabled. We agreed because this would allow us to save up for a house. When I was 19, my father had a brain tumor and at the same time his mother was in the hospital and it wasn't good. My mom spent all her time at the hospital with my grandma, so I decided to take 2 years off from college and put in a leave of absence from my job until my dad was better so I could take care of him and my brother who is younger. Fast forward, I met my now husband at work and we hit it off. From the beginning, he took it upon himself to take my father to appointments and fix things around the house for them. When we moved in, my husband fixed the house for my parents every day after working 10 hours a day. Anything they asked of him, he did. He fixed the dryer 6 times, he repaired the HVAC system. He is not an HVAC, he took his personal time to learn the basics so our heat would work, and anything else they needed. So now we are married for a few months and have been looking for a home. My mother has been rude and passive aggressive with him ever since we got married. Some backstory on my childhood. I was emotionally abused by my mom and was taught how to hate my father because he was always working. My mother always used to tell me that my dad had no time for me and to not bother him for anything. My mother once broke an easel over my head when I was 6 because I was playing Barbies with my friend and she wanted to play with my new one and I told her she could play with any other one she wanted. My mother has always been toxic, but I was always gaslit by family and friends and it was always my fault. My brother on the other hand had stolen from my parents, stolen thousands and thousands of dollars from them, became addicted to hard drugs and has threatened to beat my parents and myself multiple times. He's the golden child and can do no wrong. I have always resented my parents for this, but was always made to believe that I was being stupid and it was my fault. My husband and I have put our own money into my parents' house to help fix it for them with no request for payment back. My parents have been ungrateful for everything we, especially my husband, have done for them, but we kept doing it because we lived there too. I recently was told by my therapist that in order to be healthy for myself and my husband I would have to confront my parents about all the issues and trauma that I had been living with. So I do this and all of a sudden, they claim my husband is brainwashing me. In their words, there was never an issue, so why am I speaking up now? I was explaining to them that my therapist wants me to work on being more healthy with my family, and that is why I chose to speak to them. My husband and I received many gifts for our wedding, and both of my parents said to place them in a room no one uses. Just recently, they've been complaining about the gifts and told us to figure out storage. So yesterday, we bought a small shed from Sam's Club so we can place all of our things in it. This is what set my mother off. She said it was her house and we had no right to purchase it. When we tried to explain the reason for it, she started screaming at my husband, telling him he does nothing in the house and we just choose to do whatever we want to do because we are selfish. She also said she wanted us out of her house. I told her we had no place to go and that we needed time. She then charged my husband and went to punch him in the face. My father stopped her and then they called the police. When the police came, they told us that they felt sorry for us because we hadn't done anything, but that they decided to place a temporary restraining order on my husband and that they wanted me evaluated for brainwashing and Stockholm Syndrome. All of this over a freaking shed? The cops came a few hours later and said that I didn't have to leave, but that temporarily he would have to. So we packed up our things and our dog and left to a hotel. I've been getting messages from family saying that I'm in the wrong and I'm an asshole because I put my parents through hell. I've decided for my own mental health that I need to cut off all toxic family members because my husband and I don't deserve this. Ada? Edit. Hey all. I noticed my wording about the Stockholm Syndrome and brainwashing nonsense sounded like it came from the cops. I'm sorry. My parents were yelling and begging the police to evaluate me because I would never speak to them like this on my own. The police obviously didn't do anything of the sort and even told my parents that I was clearly speaking for myself and was under no duress. Update 1. For those of you who read my first post, it's been 80 days since I posted it and a lot has changed. My husband and I found a house and will be moving into our home at the end of August. I am currently low contact with my parents only because a lot of our things are in their house. I have already set up a day for the movers to come help me gather all of our belongings, and yes, my parents know we are taking our things. My parents were given no information other than we found a place of our own. My father has ignored me since the situation they caused and basically blames me for it, but then tells my mom out loud he's not mad at me when I'm there. My mother thinks all is well even though I tell her our relationship is the furthest from fine, but narcissistic parents will believe what they want. Once all of our things are out of the house, I'm cutting all contact with my parents and whoever else needs to go. My husband and I, even through this difficult situation, have gotten stronger and are living a fairly peaceful life. Therapy has been wonderful, and all the wonderful things that are coming our way, we are welcoming with open arms. One thing I realized, other than my parents being narcissists, is that I really did go through a lot of trauma throughout my life, and my parents still think they're the best parents out there. There was a moment, in the beginning of all of this, where I thought I couldn't keep going. When I came out of that place and was strong again, I spoke with my parents about it since my mom kept telling me how much they care about me still. Their response to all of this: oh well, that's not our fault and shit happens. They're right. Shit does happen. And it's gonna hit them hard once I'm out of their lives for good.